Welcome back. You're watching Newslink, and KZN has suffered almost R1 billion in damages due to the recent floods. But how much of it is actually covered by insurance? Well, policies can often be very complex agreements. So let's get some clarity on that with Mtho Maphumulo from Adams & Adams Insurance Division to talk us through that. Thank you very much for your time this morning, Mtho. And let's maybe just broadly start on the kind of impact that this kind of devastation will have on individual insurance claims, which I'm sure have already started coming through to different insurance providers.
Yes, a very good morning to you and to your viewers. Most definitely, these recent rains and floods have really activated various insurance policies, and in this regard we can look at policies such as business interruption policies. We can look at your normal or your ordinary car insurance policies, the homeowners with also their house contents policies, and most importantly, the risk of floods and heavy rains are usually part of your normal short-term insurance policies. So in this particular instance, with these floods and the heavy rains, those are mostly the policies that have been triggered.
Now, that's very encouraging in that a lot of the situation that we're seeing now is usually within an insurance policy of an individual. But let's talk about the validity of that claim that's made. What would inform the validity or invalidity, the non-validity of that particular claim?
Okay, so we have to look at whether at the time when the floods and the heavy rains occurred, was that person or business actually insured? And if they were indeed insured in terms of the contract or the policy, then we have to look at whether the claim does not fall, well, is it not specifically excluded in terms of the policy? And if not, does it not kind of breach, was the policyholder not in breach of any of the conditions in terms of the policy? And if not, then that person or that business is very much protected and can validly claim. And sometimes you do get instances where valid claims are repudiated on trivial and insignificant grounds, and in which case then the insured person, the insured business have to take on the insurer for purposes of getting the recourse that they deserve, because we've got to remember that at the end of the day, people do pay premiums. People take out insurance policies for this very same reason, to say, should anything happen to my business or to my to my house or to my house contents, I should be protected and be able to claim from my insurer.
Yeah, and what would that recourse look like for individuals and businesses while they're following through with this process?
Okay, so basically, well, if you challenge a repudiation, you are saying that the rejection or the repudiation of your claim is not lawful, and it is inconsistent with the contract and the legal principles that inform or guide the insurance laws, and therefore you want to be, to be paid out exactly as per the schedules of the insurance policy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what about those who may not necessarily have an insurance policy in place at the time of the disaster? I mean, is there any avenue for them to explore?
Okay, so in that instance, it becomes a little bit of an unfortunate situation, because there has to be a policy, or rather an insurance policy, to be able to claim. But as you correctly point out, most people are not insured, especially for their homes and their house contents. In that particular instance, then it will fall under what we refer to. So this particular, the floods and the heavy rains would fall under the catastrophic events. And in terms of the catastrophic events, there is a fundraising act which basically requires the government to provide some form of relief to those who have been affected by the disaster or the catastrophic event, and that is really their only recourse. And the unfortunate part with that kind of relief is you, as a person who's been affected, you do not have much say. It all depends on the availability of funds, and also what the government or the disaster management want or feel is enough just to get you back on your feet. So you do not have much say, do not have much control in terms of the extent of the relief that you are going to be provided with.
And then just a final thought for Mtho, for our viewers, just the importance of taking out insurance. I mean, we do understand that many people are struggling financially, and usually the first things to go when you are re-establishing your budget is usually the insurance or your medical aid. But some things, as we are seeing at the moment, you just cannot compromise on.
Absolutely, you are quite right, and I think the most recent years have kind of made insurance policies, taking out insurance, more of a need than a luxury, to be honest. Because, for example, we can start with COVID. COVID really, for most, importantly, the smaller businesses, your entrepreneurs, your SMEs, it brought that kind of a reminder to say, in such instances, we may really need to have the insurance policies in place. Then we saw last year with looting. The looting also kind of gave us or provided the reminder to say, do we really need to have policies? And now we are seeing this. And you will recall, even I think 3 or 4 years back, there was heavy rains in the KZN still. And where we saw some houses being washed away and all that. So I think taking out an insurance is really becoming a need, and where possible, I would really like to urge people and to urge the SMEs to look seriously to consider taking out insurance policies so that they are able to be to claim should these kinds of events occur, because they are frequently occurring.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Mtho there joining us, Maphumulo, to talk through insurance and the importance of that. He's a senior associate at Adams & Adams.